Okay, guys, this is Jeremy Booyer, Jeremy Sutton, Dirty Right Rear Podcast, episode 18. This week, we're going to have the Benton Speedway guys on, Tony Luttrell and Matt Doris. So check us out here in a minute after these commercial breaks. Hey, guys, Jeremy Booyer, Jeremy Sutton here, the Dirty Right Rear Podcast, and also Chad Winch of the Barn. We got to thank our new big sponsor that we just picked up, Double D Motorsports. Double D Motorsports in Farmington specializes in all types of race car parts, from new and used, even full rollers and race-ready cars. Katie and Daryl are notorious for making full buyouts and buying a lot of people's stuff out. You never know what they will have over there at Double D. Check back every week to see what kind of new stuff they have arriving. Plus, get your weekly items for your racing, such as oils, lubes, tear-offs, seat belts, fuel jugs, all kind of miscellaneous items. You can go to Double D Motorsports Mondays and Thursdays, 10 to 6, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 3. Or you can call them, see if they'll meet you over there, 573-747-7816. Their address is 2882 Highway 67, Farmington, Missouri. It's just south of Farmington. Go over to Double D Motorsports and get all your racing needs.
Turner Services, they are located in St. Louis. They specialize in concrete flat work, asphalt paving and repair. They haul rock and dirt. They do bobcat and excavator work, retaining walls, draining issues, concrete tear out, and snow plowing. Need something else done that's not listed? Give Cody a call at 314-397-2890, and he may just do what you need. All right, guys, welcome back. We want to welcome Anthony Luttrell and Matt Doris from Benton Speedway. Welcome, fellas.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
So Benton Speedway is, hour and a half south of us here?
Yes, sir.
And how was the drive up this morning?
It wasn't pouring down rain. That's the good.
I know when this airs, it'll be almost 2 weeks, so everybody won't get the flood reference. But I know the track's underwater right now, right?
Yeah, we could definitely be canoe racing.
Yeah, about 13 inches of rain. So,
and at least 6 or 8 tornadoes later.
Man,
within miles of us.
No damage at the track though.
No damage.
That's a plus. So we wanted to get you guys on, kind of talk about your season schedule, the history of Benton Speedway. I think earlier you said it's been there since 1991?
1991, yes, sir.
Now, how long have you guys been around Benton Speedway?
Pretty much since it opened back up, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I know my history on Benton Speedway was the first place I ever seen the World of Outlaws back in about 1993.
Yep, that'd be.
I don't remember much about it, but I think Steve. I went there twice. Steve Kinzer won once, and Sammy Swindell won the other show there.
Right.
That's all I remember.
We'd love to have them back. We're working on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, your schedule's getting there, man. It's we'll hit that shortly. But
that seems like the only thing that's missing off of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's man.
Now with the World of Outlaws, like to get them into your facility, and this is all rumor stuff everybody hears about. Do you have to have a certain amount of seating? Do you have to have a certain amount of, what do you really have to have credential-wise?
Seating was one of our main priorities, which we did by the J.C. Boot Hill Rodeo bleachers, so we added more. We can actually seat up to 6,000 now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
And room to expand. We still have extras.
Yeah, we probably still have another 6,000 plus seating bleachers in the back that we haven't even assembled yet.
Where would those go? I'm going to guess maybe turn 3 and 4 area?
Yeah, be turn 3, 4. Yeah. We just put a set in turn 1 and 2.
Really? Okay.
3, 4, that's always your danger zone. So we kind of weighing the options there, where to put them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, was it last year Brad Cookson?
Oh, yeah.
Drove through the fence there and ended up in I guess where the bleachers would go in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, we actually had some people sitting at the top of those bleachers. They're actually our drag strip bleachers, yeah. And they got a bird's eye view of what happened.
I wasn't there, but I seen the video of that. I was like, man, that was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I know that stuff happens, but you always got to be thinking of the worst. And
that's one of the primary focuses for this season is changing the way safety's being handled.
So one thing I want to ask is your opening on the back straightaway. Have you done anything with it?
We have not yet, but we have consulted engineers who are currently working up some plans for either a steel gate system and we've even weighed the option of actually cutting the track and making an entrance and exit.
Open the wall and
Open the wall up.
and close those off. But I think we're leaning more heavily on getting the gates in.
Yeah, that place. I know Jeff Asher had a pretty nasty wreck down there last year, but I've been going there, since I guess about 12 years ago. I started going down there as a crew member helping sprint car guys, and that opening's always worried me. They come out of 2 and they fishtail, and I know sprint cars are so darn fast, especially the 410s, and it.
Over the years, though, I mean, because I've been there a good, every year I've probably went a couple different times, but I don't think that's. I mean, I know every track has their opening or their something like that, but I mean, like seeing Asher's wreck last year, that was pretty, that was rough or whatever. But I don't ever anything terrible has never really come about it.
No.
I mean,
Asher unfortunately got turned.
Yeah.
Got clipped in the rear, and it sent him into that opening. Our primary goal is we've got several bids out for that.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to start the season, but somewhere in the first part of the season we'll be.
It's a risk you take.
A safety change.
I think gates would be more than sufficient, honestly.
The ones that we've had engineered up and stuff like that, they would be very secure, keep everything on the track. That's part of our goal. We've been getting new cabling and stuff like that to go around because there's a certain size that's got to go up, and that's one of our main focuses on the fencing and everything else.
So one thing we'll go ahead and touch on the schedule here shortly, but not only do you guys operate a circle track for circle cars, you do go-karts, and then we have a drag strip, 8th mile drag strip. Now, seeing you have a mud run course coming up, or event coming up. Swap meet, motocross, a Jeep festival, and a monster truck show.
Oh yeah,
yep.
We do it all. If it's got an engine, we race it.
So where is the mud runs going to be? I'm going to assume toward the end of the shutdown area at the drag strip.
No, they actually set to the south of the drag strip, 200-foot dual lane heads up drag racing.
So is that where years ago they had they called it sand drags, but it was dirt drags at that time. Is that same place?
Probably about roughly in the same place. We had thought about bringing back the dirt drags, but we had more requests for mud.
Yeah.
And it's some pretty deep gumbo.
I bet. So let's touch on the owner of Benton Speedway, Rob Russell. For those that don't know Rob, he's not here. So tell us a little bit about Rob, kind of person he is. And
I've known Rob since 3rd grade. Pretty much my whole life. He's an outstanding dude. Anything that he makes at that track goes back into that track. He'll tell you straight up that he's not collected a dime off the track. He's all about building it. Said that he is the final owner of that track. That track will never go anywhere. So, and he's always looking for new opportunities, new things to do. You just can't beat the guy. Can't beat him.
So I've met Rob a couple times. The very first time I met him was he had bought the track and I guess had plans to bulldoze it originally and
put a subdivision in.
Yep, he had started building houses. Is he still building houses down the road?
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so then, somewhere coming along, he decided to have a no prep race on the asphalt or on the drag strip, paid like $10,000 to win. And a buddy of mine and Jeremy's, Andrew Blanton, actually ended up running second down there to the guy's name out of Cape in the Mustang. I don't know, it'll come to me maybe later. But anyway, so we got talking to him, and he's like, I bought this with intentions of bulldozing it. He said, I sold the scales, the lights, half the bleachers, concessions, you name it. He sold everything. And then he said he called his dad one day, and his dad come over, and they got talking, and like he remembered him and his dad used to go sit in the grandstands on Friday nights and watch the races, and something told him, we ought to give this a go. We ought to try to reopen it. So then he decides to reopen the drag strip or the circle track, even though he had sold everything. So I guess he had to go buy all new stuff, and pretty wild story there.
Oh yeah. All the timing equipment was sold. I mean, anything and everything. $100,000 later, we got it back.
So he told us at that point. He said,
Out of the track. Yeah.
he told us kind of what he did for a living, and I won't go there, and nothing bad, but I just don't want to get into his personal life. And then he told us other things. He built houses. He said, the way I'm looking at this, he said, if I need to do something to make money for this track, I'm going to go build another house and sell it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take that money and put back in the racetrack.
Still does it today.
And he said, that's my plan to fund this track, is I'm going to build a house, and whatever I make off that goes right back into this racetrack.
Yep. And he put his money where his mouth
Yeah,
is.
that's
Do that.
and I know he started slow, a race a month or so, and now we look at this schedule, and my gosh, like we talked off air, the only thing you guys don't have is the World of Outlaw, or maybe that was on air. It was on.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So the Outlaws are about the only thing missing.
And a good thing about that, is with the ASCS, they're all actually owned by the World of Outlaws now.
Yeah.
And they come down, gave us a shot, loved the track, called us back this year and said, hey, guys, we want to come back and run. So, that's a good step in the right direction,
right.
Having them come back and really like how the surface of the track is.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of surface of the track, I'm going to kind of bring up a bad thing here. About 3 years ago, remember you had a summer national race, and the track was just rough as all get out.
Oh, yeah.
Which happens. I know you had some equipment issues, and a bunch of guys ended up leaving.
Yep.
Some guys stayed, and they put on a hell of a show. And then the following year, so I guess that would have been not this year, but last year, was one of the best summer national races you're ever going to see. I don't remember who, Ashton Winger and somebody else were throwing slide jobs for 25 laps, just bouncing off the wall. Their cars were beat and battered, and their spoilers were hanging off, their rear quarters hanging off. But man, it was awesome.
Going at it.
Yeah, we owe all that to the guy we call the Dirt Wizard, Jimmy Brewer.
Okay,
and
I know that name.
One of the best prep guys you'll ever meet. The dude, I think he talks to the dirt at night.
Yeah. See, he makes love to it. Kind of. Go ahead, Booyah. I know you're wanting to take a turn at my father-in-law now.
No. We have a guy up here who used to work on the track, and he polishes the knobs on the sheep's foot all the time.
Right.
We give him a lot of crap, but
I thought that was awesome. That was, a way to rebound. And, now the last 2 years, everybody's still talking about that show. So that was an awesome way to rebound, from what could have been something really bad, and it ended up good.
I guess we done such a good job that they decided this time they're bringing the Monster Energy girls down with them.
All right.
So,
that'll sell a couple extra tickets.
oh yeah, I bought two.
I think Jamie bought two as well, right?
I know we got it. We've been talking about that on this show. We've been just every show is just bigger and getting bigger, and this thing blew up and all this stuff. But we've never really had girls or anything on the show, and we're like, I bet you we'd probably get even more views if we could get a girl. But
you guys will have to come down and do your podcast.
Yeah,
there we go. That might be a good day. Yeah. That's July 1st, right? Yeah. I remember seeing that. It's a Wednesday night. No, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night this year.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a good show. I don't know if the work schedule will allow that, but I'd like to be there for that.
You're gonna have to start taking off work. This thing's so big now. We've made $1.50.
Yeah, that's about it.
So, that ought to get you halfway there.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys come down. Tickets are on us. We'll get you right in the pit.
All right,
put you in a box and
appreciate that.
Give you all the space you need. So
awesome. I think it'd be cool to, like you mentioned earlier, come down to a show and do a live little podcast deal, or get a few of the employees on. Try to get Rob to actually come on and talk.
Oh, he'll come on. Oh yeah. You come down, we'll get him on.
We haven't squared all that away, but I mean we've talked about it a million times, going to the track and setting up and everything, and just being alive and just being able to go on and off whenever we want and talk to drivers and fans or whatever. But we have to rely on our producer guy Chad, because we have no idea what we're doing. So
so we got to check the schedule for Chad, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And he's a busy guy, so
but he's getting into the racing, so it's starting to get him hooked.
Yeah. So before we started this, his experience of the races, he had been to Farmington in the stands quite a bit, him and his daughters, and so I guess he's been Been in the pits at DeCoin since then, and we're going to try to get him into some good stuff this year.
That's how it starts.
He's always enjoyed it, just never done it. And there's a lot of people like that go sit in the stands, and we're ones that, we've been behind the scenes so much, it's hard to go to the stands. We like to go to the pits, be active, see what's going on.
See all the action.
Drivers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hear the complaints.
Watch all the fights.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually part of my job there, pit directors. So,
Fight control.
oh man, yeah.
Well, it's pretty simple anymore.
Yeah.
We just send them on
Yeah.
out.
It's come down to the point, anybody in the crew starts something, the whole entire team leaves. So,
Yeah.
But I've learned a trick to doing it. They actually shake my hand as they're leaving. So, I guess that's a good thing.
Kill them with kindness.
So who's the promoter this year?
Justin Johnson is the promoter.
He's still, because I know he moved to like Springfield or something,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
moved to Springfield. Not 100% sure what his full future plans are, but he will be there. I know to the beginning of the season, but as far as beyond that, we're not quite sure yet.
Right. So it might be one of you guys before it's over.
Hey, you never know.
All right, you guys want to go ahead and talk about the opening or the schedule here?
Yeah.
So kind of what I got, I got all these dates wrote down. We won't go into a lot of detail on regular shows, but a lot of the special shows we'll talk about, and anything you want to chime in, go ahead. Yeah, so we're your opening night is actually next Saturday night with the go-karts.
Yes, sir.
So the go-karts are going to run on the infield, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
We got out.
So kind of what you've done, it looks like you alternate most every week between circle track, the big cars, and the go-karts.
Right.
Yep. And I guess the go-karts you guys started last year, right?
Yes.
And then this year it should be even bigger with St. John not opening their go-kart track.
Correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Yeah,
quite
I did not know that.
And St. John's done.
Well, man, this is going to be a big deal then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize that deal.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of fell apart.
Yep.
We've had a lot of calls, man, for like mowers and carts, and we're even getting calls from quads now wanting to come down, just run an oval. We wouldn't do a TT or anything like that, but wanting to come down and race on the go-kart track. So
Some of the senior kart runners like Billy Klein and all them came down and they ran, and we've added a little banking to it now, but it's a really fast little go-kart track.
Yeah, I haven't been. I didn't make it down any last year, so I haven't seen the go-kart track.
I seen the track when we were down there, but that go-kart, man, it can be a good moneymaker, man.
It's a good competitive track.
And it's a good deal because the kids don't have a lot of options really. And I mean, when they bring people, I always say when those carts or any of the younger classes like that bring people, they don't bring two.
No.
They bring 10. You know?
We've been working on the kids.
And if the St. John deal ain't opening, man, that's where that's going to be the place to go.
we're going to be busy this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We've had a lot of calls when it comes to go-karts. We have a sticky, fast track. I mean, that track is fast.
You'll have to get your fight club stuff going on because the go-kart, if they came from quarter midgets, you're really asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Those people complain like no other.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's every class nowadays. Or if you don't have anything that ain't complaining,
If they're not complaining, they're not racing.
yeah, I mean, whatever.
Can't make everybody happy.
No.
Try to get as close as we can.
Yeah, that's just an impossible thing to do. We've already seen that with having a lot of the tracks come on and like say we had promoter, Daryl of Farmington and all this stuff, and I can't say because when I raced, I complained, but which every racer complains. I never did it like some of these people do, and there wasn't a lot of social media, so it really didn't kill anything. But like after you're listening to a lot of the tracks we've talked to with Peevely, Josh Carroll and all these other guys, you sit back and after the money that they have to spend and the stuff they have to deal with and all the other stuff, you're like, I'm never going to say a bad thing again. It's pretty tough.
Fine line, yeah.
It's pretty, if you know more about it, you're like, oh man, I kind of feel bad. Some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
We won't go there.
Yep.
But anyway, okay, let's get back to schedule.
All right, so the 12th is opening go-kart. The 19th is your opening, now that Mother Nature, ruined it. First opening night. You got opening night will be the 19th of April. You're running your normal classes, which are 305 sprint cars, A mods, B mods, mod lights, street stocks, and the spectator class.
Correct.
I like the 305 sprints, man. I like that. I'd like to see a couple of our kids that are coming out of micros jump into that before we got a couple, which I think Brody Bridgman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they've got a couple sprint cars in there. They haven't really put nothing together, but he's had some bad luck in his micro, and I think he's ready to just rip it. So I'd like to see him get in there. And I know Tank's talked about it, so it'd be cool to see him.
That'd be great.
And I know you're
Racing with them for a while. My grandkids have been racing karts for years now. We race with Cody.
Okay, so your grandkids are the Latrells that run at Doe Run.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Green and orange ones.
It makes sense then now. Okay, I know them.
I just the name, rung a bell.
Yeah, we just went down to Jonesboro and had a good run down there and landed one down there.
Good.
And they got a really good program going down there
Yeah.
with their new owners. So we're trying to support them.
Awesome.
In return, they're going to come up and play at our track, and that should boost our 450 class up. So the 250, 450 karts are starting to make a comeback.
Man, those are fun.
And they're fast.
Yeah,
they're fast. So excited about that.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching those 250s, 500, 450s. Man, they're fast.
Oh, they are. They're quick.
I think a lot of people don't jump into that program just because you're a few $1,000s away from the next level.
Right.
Just because it's so much money once you step up to something like that. But
In my opinion, that's like going from the LO206 karts into a junior sprint.
yeah.
You're looking at 16, 18 grand for
Yep.
new driven.
Yep.
It goes maybe 6/10 faster than the cart does. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Now on your kart schedule stuff, do you run junior sprints on those nights?
we haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't yet. The discussions come up and we've been asked, but we haven't. We usually try and get them together and have a conversation to see how many we're going to show. But
Yeah.
if 3 or more show up, we put them in.
Yeah.
That's
well,
our
that
motto,
class.
You know what I mean? So
That class to me is kind of a growing deal, and it's pretty good. But you got to. There's so many big races for them. You got to pick out your nights to have them, or you'll have 2, or you'll have 20.
Right, exactly.
It's crazy because we just went to the small tire the other day, and that class wasn't going to be no longer, and then there's 20 of them
right.
because it was on a good weekend.
It's going to be bi-weekly, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I read
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
But also your mod light class, before we keep going to the schedule, I know tons of people up in our area because we do have a good handful of mod lights. They all really excited to run there, man. A lot of those mod light guys really love
They're fast.
to come down there,
They're
man.
fast down there.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Move.
Yeah, we've had a
Put on
good
a really
turnout.
good show. We're glad to have them down there.
Yep.
And we get a pretty wide range group there. I mean,
Yeah, it seems like they come from everywhere.
You get the down south cars and
Yeah.
Arkansas cars.
I don't think our guys from up here like when those guys show up because those guys are always super fast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these guys in Farmington are pretty fast.
Yeah.
We know quite a few of them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they put on a really good show and they
Yeah.
battle really hard.
I like the mod lights.
Yeah.
So we'll go on 4/26. You got a go-kart called Kart Mayhem. And then 3rd of May is a regular night on the circle track with the big cars. And then the 10th of May, and we'll talk a little bit about this. You got a Mother's Day special go-kart track or go-kart race.
Yep.
So anything special for the moms you're planning, or is that still in the works? Or
All moms getting in free.
all right,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Honor the mamas
all right, good deal.
And the grandmama.
and the grandmama.
There you go. Can't leave them out.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
yeah, we got just as many grandparents there as
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a cool thing. Like you guys said, that the whole family shows up to watch those kids.
They do. It's funny because they'll line up in front of the tower out there. And I was thinking one night there were so many parents out there cheering, jumping up and down for their kids, and I'm like, man, where's this been? Everything going on in the world, man, and here we are in the tower witnessing what it all should be about. Mom,
Right.
dad, grandparents cheering their kids on. I mean, it was a great feeling.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Makes you feel good and know you're doing the right thing down there.
Exactly.
So we'll go on to May 17th. This is a big one. The Jeff Beeson Memorial 3,000 to win street stock race.
Yeah.
And along with that, you got increased purses in all the classes. 305s are paying $1,200 to win. A mods are 1,000, B mods 800, mod light 600, and spectator class 300. And then I had a member of the Beeson family reach out to me last night and said they'll have a lot of monetary awards. Yeah. Also, that's not been announced yet.
Yeah, their sponsorship list for that's growing big.
Yeah, I know that's always a big race, and man, 3,000 to win for those street stocks. That's huge.
It's going to bring them out. They will be out.
It'll be a big turnout.
Yeah, and I know like Farmington this year. they're Jeremy and I don't get the rules between a street stock and a pure street, and
Super Street.
Yeah, that's all.
We gotta get a little more involved with some of this because we don't know a lot of the rules. But I think the super or the street stocks, that's more of, it ain't like the I'm trying to say like the top line street stock class, is it?
Well,
or is it?
I don't want to describe that.
Yeah.
It's
compare that to a Sportsman, maybe.
Yeah, there's what I'm saying. Sportsmen I see have pretty much late model bodies and all that different stuff.
right. Yeah. No, street stock's still running your normal conventional bodies.
Yeah. Okay.
Your factory frame.
Factory frame.
Okay.
Because there are some people doing some restamps, but it's all fabricated. So we're staying away from that just yet.
Yeah,
But
it's
it might
really
be something that changes over the next year or so.
It's really growing down in Tennessee right now.
Yeah, it's really
you're getting a factory or rebuilt frame, and the rails are matching, they're stamping, but it's still they can angle those frames. It gets
get a little more adjustment.
Yeah,
on
you get a little more adjustment out of
Yeah.
it. So
Anyway, it's street stocks down there, boys. So there we go.
street stock. Yep.
So we'll just go with that.
All right, let's pause for a second, guys.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Booyer and Jeremy Sutton here with the Dirty Right Rear podcast. We want to highlight one of our sponsors, supporters, and everything else with Expert Graphics, Powder Coating, and Fabrication. Expert Powder Coating and Fabrication is a family-owned business out of Farmington over in the industrial park. You can go over there and get some graphics, lettering, anything for your race cars. Get some powder coating done for your race cars, any other kind of stuff. Get any kind of fabrication also done with them. You can come over there and talk to Andy Moss. He's in there just plugging away at the computer, designing everything, doing whatever he can. You got Dennis in the back with his lab coat, mixing up the powder coat, really getting the stuff going. And then you got Dan over there just fabricating anything and everything you want. But if you want to hit them up, Expert Powder Coating over in Farmington at the industrial park, you can give them a call, 573-756-7324.
Another new sponsor on the Dirty Right Rear podcast is Pettis Automotive. Pettis Automotive is located in Farmington. They have a selection that is second to none. Shopping with Pettis Automotive means having access to a wealth of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from, whether you're intrigued by a Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. The story never changes. Pettis Automotive has exactly what you're looking for, all at a price that never leaves your bank account feeling beaten and bruised. They have on-site collision repair, parts, and a service department. Pettis Automotive is located on Woodlawn Drive in Farmington, right off Highway 67 at the Fairgrounds exit.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Booyer and Jeremy Sutton of the Dirty Right Rear podcast. We want to shout out to one of our new sponsors, which we've talked about quite a bit lately, but Coles County Speedway, actually the oldest micro track in the United States, opened up in 1956. They're going to be running every Saturday night, outlaw wing, non-wing, A-class wing, restrictor, junior sprint, and mod lights. They'll also have several 2 and 3 day big shows all throughout the season that they're going to have, and is the home of the WFO Micro Series also, and you can check them out at colescountyspeedway.com or on their Facebook page, and their address is 10743 East County Road 900 North, Mattoon, Illinois.
We want to welcome Premier Door Company to the list of sponsors for the Dirty Right Rear podcast. Keith and Paige Jackson with Premier Door Company out of Terre-de-Lac. They do all things garage door related. We got sales, service, and installation of any garage door equipment, garage door openers, any garage door problems you may have. You can call 573-783-7775 or look them up on Facebook at Premier Door Company. All right. So how many street stocks are you expecting for that night? I mean, what's the past turnout been like?
There'll probably be close to 20 or more.
Right? That's what I think.
I'm trying to remember what
My
the
wife
car
got me
count
in.
was last year, but I think it was over 20 last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife got me a new
They
phone.
come from all over.
Yeah, I
We got
figured.
people
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
Springfield area and down south, and
I know the Beeson name. That's a name that's been around that track since it's open. That's a name that I recognize.
And Keith actually just bought his granddaughter a champ cart. So
Really?
yeah,
Cool.
his granddaughter's going to start racing at Benton too. So
Oh, good deal.
Family tradition, still going.
It's still going. All right. So the following week is a big show, and it's a Friday night, the No Fender Friday. We got the USCS 360 sprint cars, kids mods, B mods, and mod lights.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Pete Walton and USCS.
Yeah, I think this is our first time with
Yeah.
USCS. So
Is it really?
Yes, yes,
That's-
absolutely.
That's hard to believe. But
Unless it's happened in the past, yeah. As far as I know, this is our first time with them.
I don't know if it's ever been up that
I
far
don't
north.
think I don't think in the 12 years or so that I've been a part of sprint car racing, really, I don't remember USCS. Now they would go to Malden,
Yep.
but never Benton. Yeah, that'll be
Malden.
yeah. Malden
I
Speedway.
forgot about Malden.
Yeah, yeah.
That ain't even open, is it?
Hey, we actually, when you pull into our pit area and you see our pit entrance, that's actually Malden's old sign. We
Really?
we
Oh, that's
bought
cool.
it and had it completely restored.
Really?
And yes, we have their old pit entrance sign. Pretty
We went to actually USCS 360 race at Malden, and the fans down there, they when the sprint cars come out, they were chanting "No flywheel, no fun," and we were like, usually this is like the show to come here and be
Right.
cool, but me and one of my buddies, Doc Stone, was sitting there, and he was in like the fourth heat, and he's like, "I'm gonna watch this first," and we were sitting in the stands, and this whole group was chanting "No flywheel, no fun," and we're like. We felt like we were, somewhere we shouldn't be. But it was funny, but that was a cool track.
it was a cool
Yeah,
time.
I miss Benton. Or I'm sorry,
Benton,
Malden.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
don't miss it,
Malden,
just
yeah.
going down and
Yeah. It so that'd be a fun night too. Then we go on to the 31st is a regular night on the circle track. The 7th of June, we got a go-kart race. 14th of June, a regular night on the circle track. Then the 21st, we got monster trucks coming in.
Oh yeah.
that's Rob right there.
That'll be fun.
It's all Rob right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to run a morning show and a night show.
Really?
It'll be two
Okay.
shows one day.
So will they do freestyle and
They're
Some
going.
kind of course. Yeah.
racing and yeah.
I think they're doing a little bit of it all. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll be getting the cars in, and cool thing about it is they bring their own dirt, whatever we want. So we said, hey, bring us some gumbo.
Really?
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
You get to keep it?
Yeah, we get to keep
Oh,
all
yeah,
the dirt.
there you go.
so, yeah.
We even get to pick where it's coming from.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We want some Mississippi mud.
Right? So then we'll go on the 28th. We got a regular night on the circle track. And then one of the big ones, July 1st, the UMP Summer National
Oh,
Tour.
yeah.
So I know will it just be late models and A mods?
We're actually going to run kids mods and that.
Mods, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's smart.
Yep.
That's another class that needs a lot of focus on.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about how the parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles all show up for it. They're racing for trophies. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And Landon's racing a kids mod now.
Is he really? Okay.
10 years old, and he's got it down pretty good. So it's pretty incredible. We
they're
have a good
growing.
time watching that.
Yeah, that class is
Every time he
growing.
comes out there, all his aunts and uncles and everybody's there. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think
and that's
Cookson's
the
even.
future of our class, dirt
Yep.
track racing. So it's something that needs to be highlighted more.
Yeah, I think we had Griffalls on a few shows ago, and he's really pushing that a lot of places and trying to get some stuff. So I'm sure you'll see his kid run down there a few times.
Oh yeah,
We're looking forward to it.
yeah. That's one thing Rusty's looking forward to is both of them being able to race the same night, same track. So I bet they'll both be there.
Yeah, I've been bending their ear trying to get late models down there in Benton a little more.
Yeah.
I love late models, so get them down there a little more. We'll get Rusty down there.
Yeah. So then the 5th of July, we got the go-karts. And then here's a fun night, the 12th on the circle track, on the big track. We got a $5 night and fan appreciation night.
Yes.
Yep.
I know you're going to have two of those, and that's the first one of those. So How will you handle that? I know it said the drivers, the fans can meet the drivers. Will they come down on the track?
Yes. So our plan is to pull all the cars on the track, depending how many cars. I mean,
Right.
can't get 140 cars on the track, but
Right.
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure
Right.
that part out. But yeah, kids can come down, meet the drivers, get their picture taken, and it'd be a great night. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, Farmington does pretty much the same thing, and it's always a favorite, even of mine now as an adult. I like, I get a kick out of watching all the kids.
Yeah, all the tracks that do the fan appreciation night.
Yeah, I think
that's a big deal.
I think it should be every track, man.
Yeah.
Every track should do that.
Then we'll go on to the 19th. We got a go-kart race. And then the 26th of July, another big one, the SEMO Sprint Car Showdown. We got the ASCS 360 Sprint Cars, the 305s, B-Mods, and Mod Lights.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Going to be a good race.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
ASCS was there last year, right?
Last year, yeah.
Was last year their first time?
Yes.
And, that'll be – do you remember who won? Was it Sam Haferty, I want to say?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember I didn't go, but I watched it. But
The bad thing is I was there. and I can't remember.
yeah,
You go to so many, they start running together.
right. Yeah, that is true. So then we'll move on to the month of August. We got the go-karts on the 2nd. And we got a regular night on the 9th on the big track. And then we go back to the 16th for the go-karts. And then the 23rd of August, the Terry Johnson Memorial.
Yes.
I don't know much. I just had details coming on that. So
That is actually Justin Johnson, the promoter's dad.
Okay.
He raced there several years, track champ. He actually donated the gumbo for that track
oh really?
when it was in construction. It's another good race. It's a pretty big race. Brings a lot of fans out and.
Yep. A lot of wheel to wheel.
Those will that be the normal classes, you think, or
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just adding them, right?
Yeah.
To our normal schedule.
Yeah, add them to our normal. You never know, something may pop up here or there.
right? Yeah.
Like we were talking with the kids mods. I would actually like to see the kids mods kind of thrown in that. So
Hey, I'm not sure if this is true, but I had to just go ahead and look it up, and then we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh boy.
It says Joe B. Miller won.
Oh, how did we blow that?
And I was thinking that because Sam Haferty, I thought he had problems. That's why. And I don't even know if he finished or whatever happened, but I know he had something go on. But yeah, this is,
wasn't it a clip at the end?
yeah. And
Yeah,
I
'cause
think Haferty was in that deal
Yeah.
because I was like, man, it was somebody we know. And I was wanting to say
right at the finish line, it was a clip and a roll. So
the first ASCS National Tour of 2024. And it says Joe B. Miller won.
Yeah. Man, we bombed that one.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
My bad.
Get a phone call on that one.
I'll buy him soda when he comes back.
Yeah. Joby's a friend of ours. He's been on the show, and I want to touch on Joby on the Power Eyes show too that you guys have coming up. So, but Joby's always a threat when he pulls in that gate.
Yeah.
He's and that's home for him. He's 20, 30 minutes up the road. So I'm sure that meant a lot to him, that race, and we bombed it.
Yeah.
We weren't the only ones. We just all start running together. I'm sitting there.
Yeah, it really does.
Trying to remember who won that race.
I'm going to blame it on the crash before.
Yeah, that's fine. So then we'll move on to 8:31, which is the Labor Day Sizzler. It's a Sunday show.
Yep.
We're going to run 410 sprint cars, 2,000 to win. A-Mods, 1,500 to win. B-Mods, 1,000 to win. Mod Light, 750. Street Stock, 750. And the Spectators, 250.
That might be a pretty big show there with all that money being thrown out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be
A lot of A-mods for that one. They really put on a show.
Yep. I do want to touch on you bringing up A-Mods. I remember one of the most memorable nights ever at Benton Speedway for me. This is, over 10 years ago. Went down on a Friday night. There was an A-Mod show. It was 410 sprints. I think 18 A-Mods started the feature and 3 finished.
Oh, wow.
It was a battle of attrition.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I don't remember now who won, but it was just one of those nights that people just was no patience, driving into each other. The leader would just magically break, and then the next guy would take the lead and he'd spin out, or the dumbest stuff happened. And I remember it was an hour and 45-minute AMOD feature that night.
Wow.
Yeah. And they let it run out. That was back when I guess Billy Clayton was promoting it. I was like, man. Well, I don't know. That just clicked for me. I had to talk about that. So that's the 31st. So we're going to have 3 big weeks in a row, starting with Terry Johnson Memorial, then the Labor Day Sizzler, and then the 6th of September, the Power Eye Sprints, along with the B mods, the mod lights, street stocks, and the kids mods.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think that Power I-410 deal this year is going to blow up. I think it's going to be,
so. Yeah.
It's big.
That's the one I want to circle that I would really like to get to for sure.
I think, I mean, a lot of them are, I guess we consider maybe our local guys, but we see a lot of them more. But I think that is going to pull people just because they're having so many good races, so many good tracks, and I think that series is probably going to blow up pretty good this year.
Yeah, that one's always huge.
Put that one on your schedule.
Yeah, that'll be one that I'd really like to.
And I think if it blows up like I think it will, it's cool that you guys are going to be part of the first season of it, because then you'll have the option to next year when it's pretty big, you're going to get it back. Yeah, so that's a good deal.
Yeah, I'd have to cross-reference the schedule, but I hope Farmington don't run sprint cars that night, because if they don't, that'll bring even more cars.
Yeah. Daryl's pretty good about that. So
yeah. But that'll be one that I want to touch on. Joe B. He would have to be the favorite going in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
That show, like I said, Joe B's tough anywhere he goes, but he's really tough at Benton, and he's got a ton of laps at that track.
Yeah.
Another one's going to be fast. Gage Montgomery. Yeah. He's running that Power Eye Tour. I know he's always fast down there. So that'll be fun to watch our local guys, and
yeah, I'd like to get Joe B down there and get him on the track alone, see what we actually have no track record down there.
Really?
I mean, any record that was actually associated with that track is long gone with its history. So
right.
I told Rob not long ago, hey, we need to get some cars out here. We need to start setting some records and
logging it.
Yeah, giving some guys something to beat.
That Power Eye, I'm pretty sure they qualify. So we should be able to get something that night.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Whoever, at least for that night, that guy will be the track record holder.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what you could, what you really could do, I don't know your format for the Labor Day Sizzler, the 410 sprints, but you could qualify them that night too and set a track record. And then chances are when they come back next week or the next week,
make them have something to shoot for.
It's going to be broken.
Yeah.
And the thing with that is here I'm going to be one of those guys tell you how to do track prep now. Just get that baby heavy. Let's make it fast early.
Yeah.
That
we can do.
That's the biggest thing, is giving them the best racer.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of our primary focuses.
I like watching them come off, turn 4. And you got sprints and wheelies all the way down to one end.
Right. Yeah.
I know some of them don't like it, but fans really, man, they're really all over.
Oh yeah, sprint cars that's just a different beast, different animal. That's what flocks the crowd, man. That's
especially Benton. Benton is a when it comes to sprints, man, it drags everybody out. They really love their sprint cars.
Yeah, that'll be one. We need to do something to get some people in the stands. I know historically the crowds are sometimes tough to pull at Benton.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
a lot of it. We're selling more pit passes. I mean,
really? Okay.
They want to get down there and meet the drivers and
stuff. It's nothing to have 800 plus more in the pit. So we're actually having to do a little rearranging in the back just so we can park cars.
Wow. Well, that's not a bad problem to have.
On the pit side.
Yeah.
So that's one I got circled on the calendar for sure, and I hope to be able to make it, and hopefully all 3 of us can make it. It'll be a fun show to do some lives from, do a little podcast, do a few interviews. We know several of those drivers are on the Power Eye Tour, so
oh yeah.
Hopefully we can make that work.
We'll get you set up in the booth, and then you guys can walk around.
Yeah, that'd be a good time for sure.
Absolutely.
So then we'll go on to September 13th. We got the go-karts, and then back to the 20th. The other another $5 fan appreciation night. So will you do that one the same way? Will you bring everybody back down?
Yeah, we'll bring everybody back down.
And then 27th of September, we got go-karts. And then the 3rd of October now, we're back into the go-karts. And then
No Tech Fun Night. That's almost all the tracks around the country.
Yeah, that's where
Every night.
I didn't know. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, October 3rd is No Tech Night.
Awesome. There you go.
So half the guys ain't going to have to do nothing normal than regular.
Right?
There'll be a lot of motor swapping the night before.
Then we go on to the 4th on the Saturday night season championship for all classes on the big track. So the 3rd, that's a Friday night, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. And then one of the last big shows of the year is October 17th and 18th, the Cotton Bowl Cup, which I know that far as I know, that originated at Malden, right?
Right.
Yep.
So that one's going to be 410 sprint cars, 2,500 to win. Here you go, super late models, 2,500 to win.
There you go.
Oh, man.
So that'll be a fun night.
You don't want to miss that night.
Yeah, A mods, you got 1,500 to win.
Right.
Mod lights 750, street stock 750 to win, and kids mods. So that's another one. Do you have a track record for super late models? I assume probably do, because don't they qualify for the summer nationals?
Yeah, I guess we would have to go back and look through my race pass and see what we can.
Right.
We do keep copies of everything. We could probably establish a good track record off of our past races. But
Yeah.
If we come down there, then we'll have to figure out what it is, because I just want to be the guy to be able to be like, new track record.
Yeah, right.
Track record.
And we got a new scoreboard, timing board. And
Oh, really?
So, I mean, he put all new timing in so they can see it live as it's.
Yeah, that wasn't cheap.
No.
Yeah.
I know how much the scoreboard at that little track down the road costs, so I can only imagine a big one.
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah.
All right, and I think we've pretty well covered everything. You guys got anything else you want to talk about on the?
They do have the the motocross stuff going on. Are the dates all the same, like Saturday or Sunday?
We typically run those on Sunday.
Okay.
April 13th, that is our Brett Greenlee Day. We do sponsor a pro rider.
Right.
That will actually bring several pros. Watch them run Sunday, and next weekend watch them run on TV. So,
Wow,
run
yeah.
Supercross.
And you just added how much dirt to that?
Oh my gosh! So yeah, they're putting solar fields in down around Benton, and we just took like 27,000 cubic yards of dirt.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed it says all Sundays on here. And
I just built what could possibly be. We're going to have it measured. The world's largest tabletop. So
Really?
we could probably get it in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's 220 foot long when your average is 125. So you clear that, you're a heck of a dude.
Yeah, you're ballsy if you clear that.
Yeah.
Man, so how are you guys going to function on this? I mean, are you pretty much going to spend Thursday night to
Yeah, we live at
Sunday night at
live
the
there.
track?
Rob had called me and he's like, hey, dude, he said, our schedule's getting pretty full and we still got a lot more to add. I'm like, just run it, man. There's days that we run double events that day. Like we might take off running from the motocross track to the go-kart track. Then as evening falls, we're running to the drag strip. So, yeah.
You just had an event with all the supercars there.
Yeah.
Lamborghinis.
Yeah, the
and all
12
that stuff to run the drag strip.
Actually, next week is pretty. You got the 13th for motocross, the 12th for street racing, the 12th for opening night. So, I mean, every weekend there's almost 3 or 4 different things going on down there.
Oh, yeah. Like, we run all the time. Like I said, if it's got a motor, I don't care what day it is,
we
we'll
didn't
run
live
it.
as close as we did. We'd have little cabins there.
Yeah. We even had the high school call us, and Misha's like, hey, can we come out and do a 5K foot race, state competition out there? And I'm like, heck yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Run you guys too.
Right. That's cool. I did see, the drag schedule. I checked that out. That looks impressive as well. And
Yeah, we've actually got a couple big things coming up. On the 12th, is it the 12th on our On April 12th, we are actually doing a benefit race for a guy by the name of Shannon Kelso. Just recently passed away, pancreatic cancer. Greg Adams down in Sykeston is putting it on. We expect about 400 plus cars.
Oh, wow.
All money made from that race will go to pancreatic cancer research. So where track's not making a dime off of it.
Awesome.
That's one thing I haven't really been around too much is drag racing stuff. And even my buddy owned Bonterra for years and years, and I went out there like 3 times, and he's always giving me crap. But I haven't followed that too much. But I do want to hit one race that our buddy Andrew Blanton goes to because he supports one of our little local drivers and Cruz Parsons, and he's always around. So I want to go watch him do his thing at least once. But he's got to go here or Bonterra. I don't want to go too far because
the good thing with us, we are one of the last no prep track. The only thing missing is a cop car. I mean, it is street racing at the best. Everybody has moved to prep. No prep is where it's at. I mean, that's where you put your big boy pants on and hold her on the track. That's actually where I come from. I grew up drag racing. To be honest, I was never into circle track racing.
Really?
Never into it. I'd have buddies, hey, we're gonna check out circle track race. You coming? No, I'm drag racing tonight. And Rob had called Jamie and I about coming out and building a motocross track, and it just went from there, snowballed, and found my love, for circle track and everything else we do out there, and it's definitely changed me for the best.
Yeah, I know the guy's name I wanted to think of earlier. Finally came to me, Van Burgess.
Oh yeah. Oh Van.
Yeah, him and our buddy Andrew squared off.
What's his car? Liberty Bell.
Something like that. Yeah. And it was a good race. So
yeah, he's got a fast car.
Van come out on top that time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got one fast car.
That he does.
Well, the one cool thing with all this stuff that's going on down there, you said that the owner really likes to put money back into it. With having all this, there's some stuff in here that he probably could make a lot of money on. So if he does put a lot of that back in the track, man, you guys are going to have a lot of work because he's probably going to buy new stuff, a lot of new.
Yeah,
cool, I think like mostly like the go-kart stuff. I think with all that going on, that's going to be a big deal, man.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps growing, and we're getting good reviews on it. It's very family oriented.
Yeah.
That's our number one right there. Our number one goal with the whole track is family oriented. We want to provide a safe place for families to come out, enjoy their time.
Yeah.
I have to deal with knuckleheads, and
right.
That's typically my job of tossing them out.
Yeah. Fans request we added a family zone.
Yeah, we have a family zone, no smoking.
Up in the bleachers for no smoking.
Cool.
And anything else going on in that area. So
yeah, there ain't too many that do that anymore, really.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's all about the fans. Without them, we don't have anything.
Right.
not at all.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this episode up.
You guys got anything else before we get off here? Anything you can remember? Maybe we forgot or anything?
I don't think so. Just need everybody to come to Benton.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let them know when you're coming. So
we'll definitely make it down there at some
well.
point. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, tickets on us. Come in. We'll put you in a booth. Give you a place to.
Yeah.
I know Chad will be down for that because he always wants to get up in the booth and do stuff like that.
Yeah, we got some proof. We just remodeled that whole pit.
Yeah,
it's all new. So
awesome.
You have a great time up there.
All right, guys.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks for coming on, and we look forward to seeing you down at Benton Speedway and wish you guys a great season.
Yep.
Appreciate you having us
very
on.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.